Got a new set of ratchets to look at today. These are from Powerbuilt. Let's open them up and take a closer look. Hey, what's up YouTube? Dan the Fix-It Man. Got another quick video here for you. Just a quick little unboxing on this ratchet set that I just picked up from Powerbuilt. Now, no, I definitely did not need any more ratchets, but I picked these up for a specific reason and I'll show you why. But let's open this up and see what comes included. So we do have 4 ratchets in this set. We've got a 1/4 inch flex head, 3/8 drive flex head, 3/8 drive long flex head, and a 1/2 inch drive long flex head, or extra long, or whatever you want to call it. Now, the specific reason that I bought these is because I already have one and I wanted to try out the others. I already have the 3/8 drive long flex head. You can see the button and the directional switch is pretty well worn. I do use this quite often. Now, I really like this ratchet. I got to thinking, you know, I'd be pretty bummed if this broke, and I kind of wanted to have a backup, even though I've got lots of other ratchets and I do like a lot of the others and I do use quite a few others. But one of the reasons that I think I usually am grabbing this ratchet and using it quite often is the length. The length on this is right about 17 inches. This just seems to be the right balance of torque or power, you know, with the leverage on this, and also reach and tight access. It's a pretty narrow or pretty low profile head. I also am a quick release guy, even though I know that that's probably more prone to breaking because of that quick release piece there in the middle. But I haven't broken it yet, and I've had it for many years. I also like the flex head that it's not locking, but it kind of stiffly locks in place, or you can set that and it doesn't flop around. The other thing that I like about this ratchet is take a look at the handle. The handle here down at the end where you push, it's actually turned 90 degrees from what a traditional ratchet would be. So when you're pushing on it, you're pushing on more surface area on your palm rather than pushing here on the edge like a lot of ratchets. I mean, of course, I've got some comfort grip and some that are just round, but these ones here, for example, if it were turned the other way and you had to push it like this, that's going to hurt your palm, or, you know, it's going to dig in a little bit more. Just to kind of show you what I'm talking about, here's a Craftsman ratchet. Take a look at how thin that is, and that does kind of dig into your hand. Now, I don't have weak hands or soft hands or anything like that, and of course, I've been wrenching for a long time, but if you can push on the flat part where there's more surface area, you're less likely to hurt your hand or hurt your palm, and of course it's not going to dig in as bad, and it just allows you to push a little bit harder or put a little bit more leverage on that to be able to break something loose. Also, that added length really does help. You know, the older that I've gotten, I realized that, you know, if you just grab something a little bit longer, you've got a lot more leverage and a lot more power to take something apart. Now, of course, I do use battery powered ratchets all the time. I use the Milwaukee brand and they work out great, and I'm happy that I have them, but a lot of times you do have to break something loose first, and having that flex head and the quick release just makes things go a little bit quicker. Now, as I mentioned, I was initially just looking for another one of these, and I found it on Amazon for about $60, and for $120 they had this entire set of 4. You know, I figured for the price of just one more ratchet, I might as well just get you know, 3 more. You know, didn't want to lose money on the deal sort of thing, so I went for it. But now you can take a look at the old versus new here. Pretty similar, but the older one, of course, is much more broken in. Back drag is not the best on these. That's not really what they're known for or why I picked them up, but just I really like that length and that balance or that reach. Now, the mechanism here is a 72 tooth mechanism, and the switch on these is what you would typically see on an American ratchet. These are made in Taiwan, by the way, but it does have that segmented or indexed flex, so it does hold its position pretty well. That's definitely holding on nice and snug, which is really what I like. And you know, it's not locking flex head, but the segmented flex really does hold it. You know, it's definitely something you can set your angle for whatever you're working on and go for it. But now, just to give a quick measurement on the head size, because that's a pretty common question I get. 13.6 millimeters. That's not including the button. If we put the button on the back, including the anvil, you're looking at 26.8 millimeters. Just to compare that to this Craftsman ratchet, I grab Craftsman a lot because I know a lot of people have that. But there you go, 28.7. Not a big difference, but you know, it is pretty low profile and it doesn't stick out too far. Now, I did want to show you something else that I noticed, and these really looked familiar to me when I was looking at some other ratchets in my drawer and some of the other ratchets that I have. Primarily this shape in the handle, and then I was kind of looking at the head of the ratchet here, and I thought, you know, that looks a lot like Tone from Japan. This Tone ratchet right here looks very, very similar. Now, of course, the only real big difference here is the little lever says Tone on it, and their handle has been switched or turned a quarter turn. Now, it does say Japan on the handle here for Tone, but I've been told that they do make a lot of their stuff in Taiwan, and it doesn't actually say made in Japan, but it does say Japan. So I kind of have to leave that up to you guys. I don't know if this one really is made in Japan, but I do know that the Powerbuilt is made in Taiwan. And if you look real closely at there, you'll kind of understand what I'm getting at here as far as the similarities. This looks like it's been cut down a little bit more here at the head, but you tell me what you guys think. Now the finish is more polished here on the Powerbuilt as well, depending if you like that, but Tone does make a long handled version as well, which I was going to purchase. And then when I realized, well, you know what, that's almost the exact same as the one that I've already got. So I just went ahead and purchased this set, which was, again, at about $120. I think the Tone ratchet, the long version of the Tone, was like $70 or $75. Maybe it's $85. I can't remember. I think it's gone up a little bit since I originally added it to my cart. The mechanism feels almost the same. Sounds the same too. This one's pretty new. I haven't really used this one very much, but just thought I would point that out, that this Powerbuilt is kind of almost the same as a Tone, even though the handle is turned. Now, I know some of you might even be thinking, well, wait a minute, what about the Blackhawk ratchet that I have? That also looks very, very similar. Take a look at these handles. This is Blackhawk, this is Tone. Made in Taiwan. Different mechanism here, and of course it's a non-quick release, but somebody pointed this out, that these are also just about the same. Slight differences, of course, but probably made in the same factory. This video isn't about Tone or Blackhawk or anything like that, and this is not a sponsored video from Powerbuilt. These are just some ratchets that I like, and I wanted to add them to my collection. Here's the 1/4 inch drive version. Again, it's got that handle that's turned 90 degrees, so you're pushing on the flat part. More comfortable than pushing the other direction, in my opinion. I also like this little flex head. Now these are all 72 tooth. Even the 1/4 inch drive and the 1/2 inch drive are 72 tooth mechanisms. Now it does have a decent amount of back drag, so it's not going to be one of my favorite ratchets for that, but you know, getting in somewhere and breaking something loose, especially if you have to put a good amount of force on that, is going to be pretty comfortable. And I mean, who just doesn't want a couple extra ratchets? And so that's why I went for this and bought the whole set. The length on this is just under 7 inches, or about 6 3/4 inches. I know it's kind of silly. I'm measuring the thickness in millimeters and the length in inches, but that's just kind of what I've got set up here. So about 10.3 and 19.8 with the anvil and the button. And then finally, let's take a look at this 1/2 inch drive. Now the mechanism feels very similar to the smaller ratchets here. Now I know this is just subjective, I'm just telling you how this feels, but it's smooth and it's very easy to switch, and positively switches it every time. The thickness of the head here, 16.6 millimeters. Anvil and the button, we're looking at 34.4 millimeters. I mean, that's pretty reasonable for a 1/2 inch drive ratchet. It's not going to be the lowest profile, and again, having the quick release kind of prevents you from having the lowest possible profile compared to some of the other ratchets that I have. The length on this 1/2 inch drive is right about the same, just under 17 inches, just like the 3/8 drive. Really stiff flex head there. There it is straight. Let me just see if I can whip it and change it a little bit. I can't even get it to move. Definitely not going to wobble around on you when you don't want it to. And that's one of the things I do like about this set. And of course, that handle being turned. And let's face it, a lot of times, you know, grabbing a breaker bar just doesn't work, or even the impact doesn't always fit in there. So having a nice, long, heavy duty ratchet, that's awesome. Having that length really is going to help you break some stuff loose. Well, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys liked this video. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you don't mind. That does help me out. Now, of course, I'll get a link in the description where you can purchase this exact same ratchet set from Amazon, or if some of you guys already have this or have some of these individual ratchets, I would love to hear what you guys think as well. Or if there's another brand of ratchet that you guys like or you'd like me to take a look at, I'd be happy to hear about that also. Thanks so much for watching, and good luck.